Welcome to the Hidden Why podcast, episode 979. My interview with Tina McDermott, discussing health, nutrition, and food. Enjoy. Tina, welcome to the Hidden Why podcast. How are you today?
I'm fantastic. How are you, Lee? How are you?
Going all right. Yeah, it's early morning here. I assume it's a bit later in the day for you. Evening.
Yep, 7 o'clock at night. It's all good,
7
though.
o'clock at night. You had your evening meal?
Yes, I have. Had dinner already. Had a little bit of salmon, a little bit of zoodles, and I'm good to go.
What's zoodles?
Zucchini noodles that I spiralized, and I put a little olive oil, a little balsamic vinegar, and a little bit of lemon juice and salt and pepper on them, and walnut. Yeah, okay. Zoodles. You've never heard of zoodles? Yeah.
Zoodles with a bit of salmon sounds delish. So you're all about nutrition and in the kitchen and doing things with the food and keeping a healthy life, yeah?
Absolutely. That's what my life is all about, Lee. Absolutely.
You've been doing it for some time too, huh?
20 years. I would even say 20 plus years. And every time I say it, Lee, I just get chills. I'm like, yes, it's what I've been doing and it's what I love.
20 years.
Yeah. So, and I'm only 25. So you do the math.
Have you always been a foodie then?
What was that?
Have you always been a foodie?
Have I always been
a foodie?
Oh, foodie! Oh my gosh, you called me a foodie. Okay, I will admit I'm a foodie. I love food.
What do you call it? You don't call yourself a foodie?
No. We call them foodies, but I always think foodies are people who are like 300 pounds or something. But no, I don't know why I think that. Yes, I love really good food, specifically chocolate. And people think that healthy food doesn't taste good, but let me tell you, healthy food tastes delicious because I can make chocolate for you in so many different ways and make it healthy.
Really?
Oh,
Like pure chocolate?
Oh, gosh, yeah. Yeah, like cocoa nibs or cocoa powder and make them into avocado brownies. Or today in my cooking class, I made a chocolate pudding with coconut milk, coconut cream and boiled coconut cream and eggs and cocoa powder and chocolate. I had an 85% chocolate bar and I ground all of those together and made a delicious, and some mint. I put some mint from my garden in there, made a delicious mint chocolate pudding that is really good for you.
So what have we got in there? We got coconut cream, mint from the garden, some cocoa and some chocolate, 85% plus chocolate.
And a pinch of salt. Don't ever forget your sea salt in your chocolate, in any kind of chocolate, because it pops the flavor. And I just blended it all up. Well, of course, I heated up the coconut oil in order to. Oh, and eggs. I forgot 4 egg yolks.
Oh, well, that's the thickening agent, isn't it? Yeah, just the full egg or the egg white?
No, just the yolk, because it makes it nice and thick. You don't want the white in the pudding.
Is that like a pudding or is it like a mousse? It sounds more mousse to me. But
okay, fine. You got me. It's more of a mousse. It's more of a mousse. So, I've always...
That sounds delicious. I'm going to make that.
I'll send you the recipe, Lee. I've always, for the most part, loved food. When I was a kid, I was anorexic up until the age of 12. But you would always find me after that in the kitchen, cooking, learning how to cook for my mom, off the boat Italian. And I had a sweet tooth growing up. So I was
you were anorexic until you were 12?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was anorexic when I was a kid. I used not eating to control my parents. Got to control them somehow.
Oh, so that was your tactic to get what you wanted, sort of thing.
When I look back, I believe that was my tactic. At the age of 12, I went to Italy with my grandmom and came back 20 pounds heavier. Yeah, that was interesting. So,
Well, how could you not in Italy? Well, I don't know. Actually, the Italians seem pretty, generally pretty healthy. I mean, I went there and they eat this beautiful food, but they all mostly seem in fairly good condition.
They are, but the thing is, I fell in love with food. I fell
Mm.
in love with eating. I fell in love with eating again when I went to Italy without my parents, right? Nobody
Yeah.
to control. And
Yeah.
yeah.
That's interesting, isn't it? There you go.
hmm
You control demon. Hey?
I don't control people anymore.
Using food to control people. No, that's
Yeah.
cool. So that's interesting. So you fell in love with food, and then what made you get into the nutritional side of things? Were you overweight at some stage, or?
Oh, what a great question. Thank you, Lee. Well, it kind of all stems from that whole, I was anorexic. I came back from Italy. I did gained 20 pounds, and I had two older sisters who would make fun of me.
Yeah,
I
right.
was I was third, and my entire life has been about, you're fat, you've got to lose weight. Meanwhile, I was the perfect weight, and I had a lot of anxiety. Come to find out, I had Lyme disease, which caused a lot of this stuff. But anyhow, all I would want to do was get on the bike and ride my bike, or exercise, or be outside. And so from there, I ended up guiding bike trips throughout Europe for many years. And then when I came back, I started working in health clubs as a personal trainer. And that just wasn't enough. I had a calling. I had a calling because, you see, just the personal training alone, people weren't losing weight. They were still training, but then they weren't eating right.
Mm.
So I went back to
See it all the
school.
time, huh?
Oh, all the time. And you see, losing weight doesn't happen at the gym. It happens in the kitchen.
But see, that's
And I
where
was,
we're taught wrong. Like, we grew up with that idea that, as long as you exercise and burn off calories, and eat whatever you want. But all the stuff that we have in the shelves of the supermarket and at the shops is mostly rubbish. I mean, we're getting better, I think, but
I love that word, rubbish. And yes, I agree. Most of it is rubbish. And so I went back to school and I got my certification for as a nutritional consultant. I started writing my own nutrition programs because I didn't like the programs that other people came up with. I just didn't subscribe to any DIEs that are out there. You
yeah.
know what I mean? Diets, because who wants to die? We want to live. So I started writing my own workbooks. I started creating my own weight loss groups and teaching this to my personal training clients, and started working in corporations teaching courses
Mm.
on nutrition and cooking classes on nutrition. And then bam, came the pandemic. Now everything is out of my house. All virtual.
Yeah. Yeah. That would have taught you a whole bunch of new skills, I guess.
Oh, well, I was always good in front of people speaking. That's always been a big thing for me. Almost easy, I should say. And the learning curve was no, just a little bit of technology, but I had already been on Zoom for several years prior
Mm.
to that.
Mm.
I would say there was a little bit of a learning curve, a little less than most people.
Yeah. Yeah. The So getting to kitchen, to food and nutrition. Now I love food. I'm a foodie.
Ah,
Um, Absolutely love it. Love getting in the kitchen. I'm a
right.
chef by heart,
Oh,
not by trade. And that's really hard when you start reading, books about nutrition and gut health and what we should and shouldn't eat. It really makes you go, oh, what else? How am I going to keep that passion alive? And I have found ways to create good food in the kitchen that's healthy, I suppose. But even then, we have to sometimes question, what's really that good for us and what's not. And it's hard to decipher through all the information out there to know what is actually good and what's not. And I guess you find probably that challenge as well. But how do you decipher through all the information?
great question again, Lee. And I'm going to simplify it for you and all of your listeners.
Mm.
I'm going to simplify it so that you don't get so caught up in everything that is going on, all of the different books that are coming out, the diets that are coming out. Don't get caught up in all of that. Here's the simple way, my philosophy on eating. And my philosophy encompasses vegetarians, vegans, herbivores, carnivores, meatitarians, pescatarians, you name it, and it encompasses you. And it's very, very, very simple.
Hmm.
Eat foods the way that Mother Nature have provided them for us. The more that man has manufactured or has processed our foods, the worse it is for us. So if you go back to Mother Nature will show you that you should be eating foods that either walk, fly, swim, and or grow. So when you're looking at your meal plate and it came from a box from the freezer, how much of that came from Mother Nature and how much of that is chemicals? So 5 ingredients or less if you're doing packaged foods. Otherwise, fill your plate up with as many colorful vegetables as you can. Eat the rainbow, as many colors as you can, and center your plate around vegetables. Now, I love meat. So a part of your plate, look at the size of the palm of your hand. That's how much protein you should have, whether it's fish or chicken or beef, doesn't matter, or even beans if you are a vegetarian. But that's how much protein you should have on every plate, and a little bit of fat, 1 to 2 tablespoons of a very good fat on each of your meals, like avocado, walnuts, olive oil, coconut butter, seeds. I can go on and on about the healthy fats. And that is simply, and if you look at your food and you go, oh, that came from the earth, that's what I need to eat, or that came from a box, or somebody put it in a freezer package for me full of 20,000 ingredients that I cannot pronounce, you do the math there.
Yeah. Look, I think that's a great rule. Just, anything that will pretty much eat things that aren't processed, unless you process it yourself and knows, what goes in it. That's a fairly good philosophy. But then I dig in deeper, and what about meat, and how much is too much meat? And is meat actually that bad for us? Because there's a lot of studies that suggesting that, yeah, perhaps it is. And then I look into carbohydrates, and sugar. And those three things in particular, out of a already fairly unprocessed dinner plate, those three things still come up, and I'm just like, well, should they be there?
Well, I can answer some of your questions for you.
Please do.
I was a vegetarian for 10 years, a very unhealthy vegetarian. This was before I learned nutrition.
Yeah.
And
I hear that often, actually, you can be a healthy and unhealthy, vegetarian or vegan.
Exactly. It's very hard. You have to be very regimented to be a healthy vegetarian. And I personally have converted a lot of vegetarians to be pescatarians, which is good.
So, Tina, sorry, you just cut out, but you were talking about, you sort of introduced the pescatarian diet to a few of your friends, and I just wanted to clarify the pescatarian, that's just fish, right?
Yes, it's just fish.
Yeah.
Yes, it's just fish. And there was something else that you wanted clarity on, is how much protein should you eat, or should you eat protein? The meat protein, should you eat? And in my opinion, the answer is yes. I believe strongly that man was meant to eat a little bit of meat, not a ton, but a little bit of meat. And what I mean, not a little bit, it's roughly 6 ounces for men, 4 ounces for women at each meal, which translates, if you want to go to grams, 15 grams for a woman, 20 grams for a guy. And that's
not much, really, is it?
No, it's not much. If you look at the palm of your hand, that's how much it should be. And we are all created beautifully, that everybody's palms are different sizes. And I look at that and I go, yeah, that is how much protein I need from my body. And in the protein that we eat, the animal protein that we eat, I bless the animals. I thank them. I go on rampages of appreciation for what they gave for me. And I make sure that it's not farm raised, but sustainable meat, like sustainable pork, sustainable fish, wild caught fish. I couldn't get that out of my brain. Wild caught fish, organic chicken, grass-fed, grass-finished beef. And happy chickens lay happy eggs. So if you think about chickens who get to free range and have a good time with their lives, then they are going to have the most nutritious eggs for you. So I truly believe we're meant to be eating a little bit of meat, but we're also meant to be eating so much fruits and vegetables.
Yeah. But even fruits, are we supposed to be eating that much fruit? Because, fruits, generally available all year round, whereas previously, evolutionary wise anyway, it wasn't, and we didn't really have that much abundance. Maybe seasonally, if we came across a tree, we gorged. But there's a lot of fructose and sugars in these fruits too.
We gorged and we slept for a couple of days very happily. We are hardwired for fat, salt, and sweet. We're hardwired for that sweet. And you have to answer, why are we hardwired for sweet, for that fruit? Because the fruit has certain phytonutrients, vitamins, minerals that you're not going to find as much in the vegetables. Now, can we eat no fruit whatsoever? Absolutely. I have people who have diseases and diabetes that I take them completely off of fruit, and they do well. And then when we add it back, we just do the berries. We just do the lower glycemic index fruits. But, I'll see people that I can't lose weight. Well, what are you eating? I'm eating pineapples and mangoes. And yeah, so you do need to keep the fruit to a minimum if you have dis-ease in your body. But you see, I'm also a cyclist, and I need as much sugar as I can get when I'm riding, when I'm exercising. You see, so that sugar is a good sugar if you're going to use it right away. If you're just going to be sitting on your butt and not, I'm sorry, can I say butt?
You just did twice.
I just did twice. then your body's not going to be able to utilize that sugar, and it's going to go right into fat storage, because that's what your body is designed to do, to put it into fat storage if it's not used right away. So the long of the short of it, yes, I believe we're meant to be eating fruit at the right times and the right kinds.
Yeah, certainly. And what about carbohydrates? And then legumes as well, beans and legumes.
Beans, okay, carbohydrates. Vegetables are carbohydrates, fruits are carbohydrates. So I want to clarify that. But when we're talking about perhaps grains, is that where you're going with that? Grains and beans? Is that where you're going?
Yeah.
Okay. I think that grains and beans are wonderful foods when they are processed properly. When beans are soaked overnight and then sprouted, and then you eat those beans, you will be able to absorb all of the nutrition, because the soaking and sprouting neutralizes the phytic acid in them that causes disruption in our digestive systems. So sprouting beans and eating them, phenomenal carbohydrates, especially if you're going to be exercising and if your body can handle them. If your body can't handle them, then don't eat them. Grains should be fermented and or sprouted. Again, it neutralizes the phytic acid in them, makes the nutrition more available for us, and then we can eat it. Again, it's still carbohydrates. So if you're going to be sitting all day long, should you be eating breads and grains? Probably not. But hey, if you're going to go on a hike and you're going to be out all day long exercising, or if you're working the fields, or if you're out there hunting all day like our distant ancestors were, and hunting and gathering and then you need those carbohydrates. But hey, if you're not and you're sedentary, or you maybe exercise less than an hour a day, you just might not need all of those carbohydrates.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. So do we need to bring ourselves back to a level playing field so that we can then, because I imagine if I started now and just said, okay, well, I'm going to go for a hike tomorrow, so I'm going to eat a whole bowl of grains or whatever, or eat some fruit and grains, that might not be the best play. Do we have to sort of detox first, or do you have a recommendation on how to bring us back to sort of a natural level before we start introducing other things again? Or is that not at all the idea?
Well, you brought up a couple of different things here. When people first start, like they want to clean out their body, then I don't do any kind of detoxification major program, because remember, I was anorexic. So when I first started really getting interested in nutrition and following my one of my mentors, she started by saying, yes, we have to go on this fast for 3 days and drink this cayenne pepper and apple cider vinegar drink. And I looked at her like she had thousand eyes. And I said,
Mm.
absolutely not. I cannot go without food. Do you understand the emotional aspects of that for me? Also, do I believe that we should fast a little bit here and there? Intermittent fasting is wonderful, but to go 3 days without eating, absolutely not. So when I start working with people, just starting to add the natural foods, your body will naturally detoxify. Okay, it'll naturally detoxify in a very easy way, as opposed to jumping right into ice water. Okay,
Yeah.
that's the starving for 3 days. No, we don't go down that road. And if you want to just, you're going to go for a hike, not tomorrow but the day after, yeah, I would suggest tomorrow, that maybe tomorrow evening, that you eat a little bit more fruit, and during your hike eat a little bit more fruit. I always get dried dates and dried figs, even fresh apples. I take them on the hikes or my bike with me. That's the time I get to eat that kind of fun stuff.
Yeah, I like it. So yeah, no massive 3-day no food binge recommended. Now you said you believe in intermittent fasting. Can you explain what that is and how that looks, for a regular person?
Intermittent fasting is you are going to eat within a 6 to 8 hour period. Eat whatever you want. Not really. I mean, still stick to whatever walk, flies, grows, or swims, right? Natural foods. But eat within a 6 to 8 hour period.
Yeah.
So you can eat between a 6 to 8 hour period, right? So
I like
maybe most people do. So maybe you start eating your breakfast at 10 o'clock, you eat your lunch at 2, you eat your dinner at 6, and then you're done. Don't eat anything else. Because from 6 p.m. until 10 a.m. the next morning, how many hours is that? That's 14 hours. Did I calculate
16,
that right?
16 hours.
16 hours. Yeah, that's 16 hours that your body is not busy digesting food. And when your body is not busy digesting food, then your body is busy healing itself. Isn't that beautiful? We have the innate ability to heal our own bodies. We just have to stop eating 24/7. People think you need to eat breakfast, you need to lunch, you need to eat dinner, you need to eat snacks, you always need to be putting food in your mouth. And the answer is stop eating all the time. Eat within a 6 to 8 hour period, and then allow your body to naturally detoxify itself. And it comes back to a state of alkalinity, or a pH balance, I should say. And again, if you look at our ancient ancestors, they didn't eat all day long. They were hunting all day long, and then they came back at night and maybe had one meal a day some days. Some days they ate fruit all day long, right? Other days they had a little bit plentiful foods, and they ate nuts and berries and maybe a little bit of meat. But most of the time there was fasting in between. Some days they went without food.
Yeah. So what does your fasting look like? Like, what's your schedule?
When I go on to when I'm doing an intermittent fasting routine, I wake up, I'll drink my water, and I'll drink more water. I always put a little Celtic sea salt in my water as well, so that it has a little bit of minerals in it. Because I have reverse osmosis water, and you want to put the minerals in the water, because it's the minerals that open up the cells that allow the hydration to happen. I'll have my water, and then I'll have a cup of black decaffeinated organic coffee. Just enjoy my coffee through the morning. And then I'll eat my lunch. It depends on my hunger level. Sometimes at around 11, sometimes at 1. It all depends also on how many clients and webinars and cooking classes I have. And then I'll eat dinner sometimes at 6. And I have to tell you, some days, if I'm going to go for a bike ride that night, I will eat dinner at 8 o'clock. Some days I cheat and I go a little bit longer. But the days that I'm not doing a bike ride in the evening, I'll stop eating at 6 o'clock. So, I've got that 6-7 hour window. And that's what it looks like.
Works pretty well. Yeah, and I think you get used to it. I'm doing that now as well, and I've tried it before, but I've only just really started doing it again in the last couple of months. where I won't eat from 6 at night until 11 o'clock the next day.
Nice.
Again, it just depends on the day, because I don't really do too much. I swim most days and do a bit of yoga here and there, but not too much heavy activity. And I don't miss it either. Sometimes I feel a bit hungry in the morning, but I have a cup of tea or something and just get on with my tasks, and it sort of goes away. Like most things, I think if you're focusing on it and you're thinking about it, you just obsess over it. But if you're busy doing other things and focus your attention elsewhere, you can sort of let that go.
Yeah.
Harder with some things than others, of course. But I think it's certainly. And there's something about the cells too, that when you fast, your body starts to your cells start to sort of, I don't know, die off as well. The weaker cells die off, and you get new cells building up. And I don't know the science of that, but do you know much about that?
Well, just a little bit, but it's the same thing. Your body is healing itself. It's correcting itself. Okay, that's a better terminology for me. Is your body is constantly correcting itself and constantly in a constant state of getting rid of bad cells. The term is apoptosis, if you really want to know that. And that is getting rid of the bad cells and protecting the good cells. Okay, your immune system it's constantly looking at all of the trillions and trillions of cells we have in our body and detecting which ones are bad cells. Let's get rid of those. Which ones are good cells? Let's protect those. Or which ones are in danger? Let's go and protect those. Or maybe we need to get rid of them too. So it's constantly in that state. However, if you are constantly eating bad foods full of chemicals, full of sugars, full of carbohydrates, that processed foods, mind you, then your body doesn't have the time to go in and heal itself and correct itself. Not the time, the energy to go in and correct itself. So you are absolutely correct. Our body does heal its own cells. We heal ourselves.
It's great, isn't it? And isn't it funny how when you have like a binge or something like that, I certainly notice after a night, if I'm on the beers with mates, I crave all this rubbish food, like, and I get really hungry too. Isn't it quite impressive how our systems do that?
Yeah, and is that a night that you're drinking and stuff like that? Is that what you're
like
saying?
if I have a big night with my buddies and we go out, and then you want to eat those chips and burgers and whatever,
Yeah, it's because it's a habit, and that's what you've always done, and that's what you will always do. That's what you've always done, and that's what you will always do. Also,
but I think there's some science behind the cravings there too. Like when your body's it doesn't have the right ingredients in it, it starts going, well, you need to eat something, and it automatically goes for the things that it thinks it's going to be better for you, which it's obviously not.
Yep, that is correct. Because and I liken it to, you just finished a meal and you're still hungry. At least you think you're still hungry, right? And you go to the refrigerator and you're like, what else can I eat? And it's likely because the food that you ate was depleted of the nutrition that your body needs, or your body's innately wanting some kind of nutrient that you haven't been feeding it. So that's why you want to eat more. Also, Lee, remember, sugar begets sugar, whether it's processed foods that turn into glucose, sugar in your body, or actual sugar, or even alcohol that turns into glucose in your body. It begets more sugar and more junk food. So the more sugar you eat, the more sugar your body's going to want, because you're feeding the bad bacteria, and then the bad bacteria are in your gut going, hey, feed me.
That's and what I've read something about, all the diet stuff out there these days, because I see people, that love their Coca-Cola, and they'll go, oh, I'm having the no, what do they call it, diet Coca-Cola, or no sugar, or
zero. I think it's Coke
Zero. There you go. Thank you. So those drinks as well, and I hear it's actually worse for you than drinking just a normal Coke. You're better off, if you're going to drink Coke, just drink the normal Coke.
You are so smart. The answer is absolutely right.
I don't know if I'm smart. I don't understand how it works. So maybe you
No,
can explain it.
you're very, very smart, because you're better off with the sugar than the artificial sugars. that are in those Coke Zeros or any other kind of drink that's trying to tell you that you should be drinking that beverage that has artificial sugars in it, because even the artificial sugars still spike your insulin. They still send all of those calories right into fat storage. So if you're having your Diet Coke with a pizza, all of those calories of the pizza are going to go right into fat storage. It's that simple. Not only that, but many of the artificial sugars destroy brain cells, destroy cells in your body. And I can go on and on about that. So,
What is it? Is it something about, because if it does the same thing as the sugar does, the artificial sugar does the same thing as the sugar. But is there something about the artificial sugar that actually makes you want more of that particular zero thing drink, or is it just a mindset that, hey, because it's zero, I can have more of that?
I think it's both. It's both. There was a study done by Purdue with mice, and don't quote me on the exact pieces of the study, but I know one group of mice were given regular water, one group sugar water, the other group artificial sugar water. The regular water, after a couple of days, they were given a brownie. Nobody touched it. The sugar water mice or rats, I don't remember now, they were given a brownie, and they ate the brownie. They didn't eat the whole thing. They just kind of nibbled at it. The artificial sugar mice or rats, I think it was mice. It was definitely mice. They not only ate the entire brownie, they started fighting each other.
Interesting.
Yeah, you can look.
So they had the artificial sugar water, and then they had a bit of normal sugar, and they actually got more significant cravings.
Yeah,
like they were lacking.
Yeah, and they were rats. I'm looking it up. It's the artificial sweetener rat study, and it's from Purdue from 2004. Artificial sweetener may disrupt body's ability to count calories. Yeah, so you can look that up in Purdue News, and that's what the study was all about. That the more artificial sugars that you eat, the more that you want to eat in general, and it doesn't make you a happy person.
Inability to count calories, so that means you drink zero Coke and you drink more of that, but then you also want to eat more food too.
You got it.
That's crazy, isn't it? Why don't people know? We need to tell people about that, though. This boggles my mind.
That's my goal in life, Lee. That's my goal in life, is to teach people and many people as possible, that you don't need those artificial sugars. Your body doesn't want them. It's a health destroyer. And we're on this earth, Lee, for joy and love and happiness, and love of food is one of those things for me. Obviously, as you already pointed out, I'm a foodie. And in the artificial sweeteners, I smell them a mile away. They're just terrible. And you don't want them. You don't need them in your body. Heck, you don't even need those sugary drinks, the regular sugar drinks. Drink water, drink tea, if you have to have sugar, put a little honey in there. But the honey is still going to spike your insulin.
Yeah. There's just better ways to do things, isn't there? And I think that's where I guess the companies get us, and they hook us in, because anyway, we could go on for days, but you've got a fantastic website. Obviously, we didn't talk too much about your cooking, but you do cooking classes and all that sort of stuff too. So I'm going to stick the link in the show notes. So it's just tinamcdermott.com, isn't it?
Yep, tinamcdermott.com.
And from there they can find everything about you and click
they
away.
Can find and if they want, I can. I'm happy to give them my free ebook. It's called The Joyful Gut Reboot Guide, and it's the same thing. tinamcdermott.com/JG for the Joyful Gut.
Joyful Gut, JG. All right, I'll stick that in the show notes.
JG. Yeah, make it super easy for people.
Do you have any routines or rituals you believe contribute to your success?
Yes. Love that. Yes, I do. I wake up in the morning, I put one foot down, I say thank, I put the other foot down, and I say you, and I'm thankful to be alive. I go to the bathroom, I brush my teeth, I put my walking clothes on, I put my sneakers on, I put the dog's leashes on, my coat, my hat, and out the door we go, and we go for a wonderful walk in this world. every single morning. And yes, I believe that that contributes to my success and in my health, in my life, in my business.
Mm.
That every morning, no matter what, I'm grateful to be alive and I'm thankful for everything. I go on rampages of appreciation every morning.
Rampage.
Just so thankful.
That's good. I like that. What advice would you give your 20-year-old self?
Keep going. Follow your dreams. Follow your gut instincts. When you feel that pull, you follow it.
Yeah.
Follow it. Because
Yeah.
I knew that I should be into nutrition when I was in my 20s, and just follow your instincts and just dare to dream and follow your dreams.
What or how do you define success?
You wake up happy every day.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, I know it's very simple. Success to me is not numbers in the bank. Success to me is how happy are you in your life? How much joy do you have in your life? Because I truly believe we're on this earth for joy and
Yeah.
love.
100%. Yeah. What activity gives you the greatest sense of joy?
Oh, mountain biking. I
Mountain biking.
love mountain biking. I hoot and I holler and I grunt and I just love it. I do road cycling as well. And I can tell you, I can honestly tell you there's just a little bit more notch of joy in my mountain biking. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. I like that. I like the idea of mountain biking. What if I was to serve you your last meal? Here we go. This is a good question for a foodie. What would you request?
Oh my gosh, you're gonna whatever. I'm going to request a chocolate, definitely chocolate, probably a chocolate mousse. I don't know, or a brownie. And I'm gonna request pork ribs. I absolutely love pork ribs.
Mm, make my
Yep.
mouth water.
And a kombucha because I love kombucha, the fermented tea.
Nice one. Do you have a favorite book that you'd recommend to someone to read?
Oh, yeah, it's called The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks. The
Okay.
Big Leap by Gay Hendricks. If you've not read that book, I recommend it to everybody because he really, truly, I've listened to it 7 or 8 times, and I've also read the book, and it really helps you hone in with your genius zone and follow your genius. Follow your genius. And my genius is teaching people nutrition while I'm cooking in my kitchen. That's my genius, and it's just amazing. I love Gay Hendricks and the Big Leap.
Leap. Yeah, I'll put that in the show notes, guys. And to leave the audience that's listening today with a quote, phrase, or message, do you have one? Word of advice?
Dare to dream. And oh my gosh, I've used to say this a million times, and now it's not coming to me. It's but back to what I would say to my 20-year-old self. Follow your dreams. And
dare to dream and follow your dreams.
Yeah, just dare to dream and follow your dreams. And
Nice.
just catch on, and this is a good one. Catch on fire with enthusiasm for what you are passionate about, and the world will catch on fire with you.
I like it. So, guys listening out there, I hope you've enjoyed this episode on the Hidden Why podcast with Tina McDermott, episode 979. Links will be in the show notes. Tina, it's been an absolute blast. Thank you.
Thank you, Lee. Thank you so much. Namaste.
Check it out, guys. Until next time, peace, passion, and purpose. See you soon. Thanks, guys, for listening to this episode. I hope you enjoyed what you heard. I hope you love what you're hearing. If you like this episode, guys, or any of the episodes that you're listening to here at The Hidden Why, please do me a favor by sharing it. You can share it with your families, you can share it with your loved ones. You can do that by using your favorite social media channels, using the icons on the platform that you're listening to The Hidden Why podcast. Also, guys, if you're a fan of the show, please connect with me. Connect with me at thehiddenwhy.com. I love to hear from you. I love to converse with the people that listen to this show to find out what they enjoy, what they don't enjoy, and perhaps if they have any questions or feedback for the show as well. You can stay up to date with all that I'm releasing here, guys. I do a solo show every Monday, a 3-minute thought every Thursday. I do 2 interviews a week on a Wednesday and a Saturday, and a book review every Friday. You can stay up to date with all that by subscribing to my newsletter at thehiddenwhy.com. Just enter your email address there, and also subscribing to the podcast on the platform that you choose to listen to your podcast. You can also support the show, guys, by using the Amazon links at thehiddenwhy.com. So if you like books, you can get all the books that I review there, and anything else really that you like to purchase through Amazon. So use that link, it helps support the show. And we've also got a deal with Audible, guys. Audible is a fantastic way to listen to all your favorite books. We've got a deal with them, so you can get 2 free books when you subscribe, or subscribe to a 30-day free trial. So check that out again at thehiddenwhy.com. Guys, that's it from me. You know what to do. Go out there, breathe more passion into every single moment. Do everything with greater purpose, and in doing so, you will discover your hidden why. This is The Hidden Why. My name's Lee Martinuzzi. Until next time, peace, passion, and purpose. See you soon.